today's another hot day, but I'd rather it be 100 degrees like it is and not rain versus having rain happen, because rain would screw me over big time. So I put the flashing, we got some Z flashing all the way down. I went ahead and did it all the way down. I don't know if I'm going to get the whole side done today. My main goal today is to get, I've got half the door done. I want to get the other half done, and then I want to get the door set. That's the main goal for today. But if I have time, I can throw some more sheets up, because those full sheets will be easy to do. So once we're past the cutting and precise measurements and all that. So what I've done is, it's just a really easy trick. Paint sticks, shove it on top of your flashing, and put the, you know, the sheathing, or not the sheathing, the siding on top of that, and that'll give you a perfect gap. You don't want your siding sitting on that flashing. So that flashing's for if water gets there, it can dry and drain out and not soak into your siding. So you don't want it sitting directly on there. But yeah, that's what I do, is paint sticks, and that'll be a good distance. And then I'm using galvanized 2 3/8 inch nails, and you want your pressure set to where it's either sinking a little bit or flush. Like some of these are flush, which is perfect, what you want. Some of them are sinking in a little bit. It just depends, you know, because the wood you're going into is harder in some places, and you're not going to get it all perfect. So, but you just don't want it sinking in too far, because this is only 3/8 inch siding. And this is not a how-to instructional video. This is just how I'm doing it. So if you're doing a job for somebody else, you need to do your own research and all that shenanigans. I'm not teaching anybody anything. I'm just kind of documenting what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. Yeah. I also taped off, I wrapped my siding, or my Tyvek, and taped it off so it's nice and tucked in once I put the door in. And I also did the same on this side. I kind of ripped off some of this old trim that was in the way, and this trim here, and sanded this with my sander just to get the big chunks of paint off and out of the way, and then I taped it to that. This is going to get a new piece of trim put on it at some point, but it's not a major priority. It's getting this side finished is my priority today, so this doesn't get too much water on it when it rains, so it should be good for, you know, a few days before, until I can get the siding, or trim on. It's siding on the brain. So yeah, anyways, I gotta get this next piece measured, cut out, and move along. Oh, another thing I did yesterday before I put the Tyvek up was I just put some chalk. I had some chalk that I marked studs. It's just easiest for me, so I have an idea of where I need to be shooting. It makes it a lot easier for me. I mean, unless you really want to sit there and measure with a tape measure every 2 seconds, and you know, this is just way easier. So I will do the same thing when I do the back, because we got this concrete slab back here, which is a bad idea for this situation. But the concrete slab's here, so I'm gonna mark here, do the same thing when I go to do this, and that'll be good. I'm most likely gonna be putting a lean-to roof over this, coming down, I don't know, 6 to 8 feet, because the way this is set up back here, the way they did it, I mean, the wall is too far back from this edge to really do flashing. I've tried a couple pieces of flashing that I had, and you know, Z flashing will not work here. It's just too small. I tried some drip edge flashing. It's just not going to work right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have this off the concrete, you know, paint stick width, and we're going to put a roof over this so that it doesn't get directly soaked by water anymore. So that'll take care of this. But that's not today. Anyways, I'm going to get back to work, and I will update you in a little bit. door is done. Got it all hung. We got adhesive underneath here, 3 or 4 lines underneath there. We got the shims, it's all shimmed up. It's all construction, or I use deck screws in it. So it's got deck screws all throughout. And it is perfect. And the door doesn't even really swing too much. Like it's pretty close. So it's, yeah, but it closes really well and everything. So I got to get the handles in. They're over here. But I'm gonna take a break. It's, you know, 100°+ heat index out there, and it's been kind of nice working in here in the shade, but it's still 95 in here. It's hot. So I gotta get something to drink, and then I'm gonna get these handles put on and break off some of the shims, and then we're gonna foam. Come here. Yeah, there you go. You foam the top, and that's really all. It's just, most of this can's gonna go to waste. I'm gonna foam the top because the sides don't need it. They're close. That's just, that could get some caulk in it maybe. But you're gonna foam the top, and I'll probably foam up this little tiny bit of a gap that I had to cut for that wire. And then the rest of this can will just probably throw it away. I don't have anything else to use it on right now. And then what I do, and what most people probably do, is the nail or the screws that you use get hidden behind. Well, some of them go in through the hinges. 3 of them on this side at least. And then the rest of the screws you want to hide behind this weather stripping. I can't even remember. There it is. So you take the weather stripping off, and then you put your screws in right there. And you want to use a countersink bit to pre-drill the hole. And then you screw it in, and then you're good to go. You want to use 3-inch just so it hits a lot of wood. So it's holding really good. So 3-inch, you could use 3.5 if you want. 3-inch is good enough. Yeah, so plenty of wood that it's hitting, and secure, both from, you know, trying to be broken into, and for if you live in, like me, in a hurricane zone, it'll be secure against winds. But yeah, I'm happy that this is done. And then, as you just saw, the cutouts, the 2 pieces that needed to be cut are done. That looks beautiful. You can continue down that way because those next 4 pieces should be cake, no big deal to do. Just like I said, set it on top of the Z channel and go to town with the nail gun. One thing is, I have not nailed this side of this sheet yet, or really the top. It's nailed in all on this side and on the bottom, and that's because this overlaps, you know, 1/2 inch. And so you just want, if you nailed it into the stud here, you wouldn't be able to easily get it opened so you can overlap. That's the way this stuff works, is it slides underneath and overlaps a little bit. So just make sure you don't nail this side down until you've got the next sheet on. So that's all. But yeah, I'm taking a break. Thirsty, hungry, hot. Update you soon. All right, I'm done for today. It's another 12-hour work day in the 105 degree heat. Miserable outside, so miserable. But we got the foam in, the door's done, doorknob, lock. Those are from the previous door that I had installed a few years ago, so no reason to get new ones. Those work perfectly fine. I had the double lock on it because the old door had a window in it. So I'm just keeping the same lock, but in the future, if I ever have to swap this out, I'll just get one with the twist knob on the inside now, since it's a solid door. So, but yeah, we've got a mess in here, of course. Just got stuff packed in everywhere I can fit it. But you know, that'll be fixed soon once this project's over with. So let's go look at the outside result. I got all the siding done on this side. It looks phenomenal. Of course, it's going to be painted here coming in the next, maybe tomorrow. Yeah, I think I'll probably be painting it tomorrow. We'll see. But my plan is I've got a sprayer, and I'm going to have to go buy 5 gallons of paint. Because of course I'm doing the whole outside, so I mean, it wouldn't need 5 gallons just for this side, but eventually I'll need that much. So yeah, the plan is probably tomorrow I'm gonna run and caulk everywhere that needs it, kind of like, you know, around the door. Any holes that are kind of a little deep, I might caulk, or I may just not worry about them unless they're really bad. But most of them are pretty good because I had the pressure set to where it was only barely sinking them. Most of them are kind of flush like that. I've got to run around here and pick off the bits of plastic. The nail gun leaves little bits of plastic sometimes, so I've got to clean that off before I can paint. But other than that, there's not too much to do here before I can paint it. So yeah, most likely tomorrow will be paint day. It only takes an hour for that caulk to dry, so caulk the door and any holes that I think need to be caulked, then throw the first coat of paint on an hour later. While that's drying, I'm thinking most likely I'm gonna start digging into this. I'm gonna get the scaffolding set up, and I'm probably gonna pull that piece off up there and make, I also want to kind of, so I can't remember if I think I did, but I'm gonna explain it again anyways, just in case. The OSB, when I went to put it on here, and I had a gap I wanted to have a gap at the bottom, so I was using 7/16 OSB to shim it up off the concrete, and because of that, it was hitting that siding that's up there. So either it had to be trimmed or this has to be trimmed. And what I'm going to do, instead of trimming the OSB, I'm going to do it, take this piece off and put the OSB on, and then I'm going to cut a new piece of OSB to go over that, and then we'll do siding and OSB up there as well, and redo this entire side to the soffit, and including the trim. I'll take the trim piece off, and this will also give me a chance to inspect the rafters up there because of the termites. Doesn't seem like it's bad. So and like I said, I already looked from the inside, and I don't see anything, but it'll give me a chance to inspect the rafters to make sure, and then I can do this right and not have to cut all those pieces, because not just the OSB, you have to also cut the siding that would go around it as well. Yeah, this is the right way to do it anyways, because the OSB is going to be off because they didn't do sheathing like I mentioned before. So the OSB would already be further out than that siding, since that's 3/8 siding. So yeah, this needs to come off anyways. So yeah, that's the plan. Possibly while the paint's drying, start messing with this, get the scaffolding. Didn't want to get the scaffolding today because here with the sun beating down so strongly, it's like 180 degrees to touch that. And any tools too, like I have to wear gloves to use any metal tools, because otherwise you'll get your hands burned. So we'll do that in the morning when it's cool and I don't have to worry about wearing gloves. And yeah, that's the plan. I'm gonna do 2 coats of paint on the side, and that should be done tomorrow. And once that's done, I should be able to start working on the trim. I have the trim pieces, at least some. There's not gonna be enough for the whole building yet, but as you can see, I only have so much room, so I can't fit like everything. But we've got some trim. So we got the 6-inch is going to go on the bottom run, and then the 4-inch is going to go on the vertical corners, and then I'm going to also buy 2-inch, which will go on the top by the soffit up there. So that's the plan. And then once those are in, caulk all that, and yeah, so done for today, and I will check in with you tomorrow. Got a little gung-ho and forgot to have my respirator on when I started. Very quickly realized. So we're obviously doing at least one more coat, possibly two more. And I'm gonna have to come back. I see a couple areas that need caulk, like this right here. I need to caulk that. And then up here. Other than that, it's looking pretty good. I may go ahead and start painting this front side. I'm not redoing this front side. It should be okay as is. It's not rotted out or anything. The couple of trim pieces are kind of, they're not bad, but I'm replacing a couple of trim pieces. But other than that, the siding I'm not dealing with on this side, so I'm probably just going to come through and paint this white. And I may try to do that in between all that trim and stuff. I don't know, it's kind of a pain to do all that if you have like two strips of trim right beside each other. I mean, I guess I could repaint the trim, but this side is not the priority. So I may just throw this color on the white sections and be done with it, because like I said, this side I don't care about right now. I want to get this side fixed and finished, and the back. Those are the two major issues. And then the opposite side is getting done too. It's an issue as well, but it's not nearly as bad because of the drop here is significant. Like whenever water splashes off from the roof here, it doesn't even splash to high enough to touch any of this wood. So this is the only time this gets wet is if wind is blowing and hits it. So it's not as big of a deal. Again, it's getting fixed, but this is the major issue, and so is this side. So at any rate, I'm gonna get the front done, and I might start painting the trim with the sprayer as well. I'm kind of undecided on that, if I'm gonna hand paint the trim or do the sprayer, but at any rate, continuing work. All right, so I finished spraying. This whole side's done with the first coat, I should say. And I just decided to go ahead and do the entire front without regard for the trim or anything. I did have a piece of cardboard to kind of help not spray the trim, and of course the outlet and the AC, so kind of used the cardboard a little bit, but I just sprayed the entire front because I want everything to be a consistent color for one. This had the old brown and it had white, and so it was already two colors and just wasn't looking good. So sprayed the whole front, and I'm going to come back at some point and paint all this trim the shark fin gray, which I already painted up here on the fascia. That's going to go on the door and the door frame as well. So that's the trim paint. All the trim is going to get the shark fin gray. So at some point I'll come back and I will do all the trim over here, and so we can have at least consistent colors, because I'm not redoing the siding on this side. The other thing I did was I came back through and there were some gaps forming on the caulk line, so I just put some exterior caulk on here, and this will just get touched up with a brush and this color when I go to do all that. It's not a big deal, get done whenever. I just decided it was a good time while I had the sprayer out, go ahead and get it done. So, and I also caulked everything on this side, so this side's good. All the nail heads, all the seams, seam, all that's caulked and good to go now. I did it after the first coat of paint because I wanted the paint to be able to absorb in as much as possible to all the cracks and crevices. So if you saw me, I was spraying kind of straight on, and then I was going at an angle this way and an angle this way to kind of get into these grooves and everything. Good luck painting this with a roller. I mean, you can do it, but I've done it before. It's not fun. And I did it actually on these front panels because I didn't have a sprayer at that time. When I did these front panels and closed in these doors, I did these two sections. I mean, it's a pain getting into all those grooves, like the vertical grooves, and then you've got this wood finish which is bumpy. So I mean, I'm telling you, you want to do a sprayer on this. You can do it with the brush or a roller. It's going to take you forever, and it's not going to get a great coverage. I want the spray to get soaked in really well because I want this completely waterproof. So I do not recommend a roller or a brush on this. That's all my opinion. So at this point, this wall is pretty well watertight. Again, it's going to get 1 or 2 more coats, probably 2 more, I would say. I want to make sure this is a nice thick layer of protection, but the sprayer is a huge pain to clean out every time, and of course you have to wait an hour and a half, 2 hours between coats, and you can't really do that if you're you know, your sprayer is sitting there just sitting by, you know, drying. You can't have paint drying in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get started on this side right now. Like I said, this side is pretty well watertight at this point. We're pretty good. I don't have any trim on it, but that's fine. That's no big deal. The trim is going on last because I want to spray it all again without the trim in the way. So we're gonna get this side started, and I'm gonna have this side done with siding on before I do the next coat. So once I get this side completely finished all the way up to the soffit, I'm doing that whole top section as well. I'm probably gonna have to add in 2x4s up there. I don't think there's any 2x4s at all in that top section, which from what I've looked at from the inside, we'll see. But this side will get done, and once it's got all its siding on and ready for paint, then we'll do this side. We'll spray this side first, do this side, and then we'll do possibly 1 more coat on the front. I've got the 5 gallons, so it's enough to do multiple coats on all this. And then by the time I'm done with the front side, I should be able to come back around here and caulk, and then I can, while that caulk is drying, I can do this side 3rd coat. That's kind of the tentative plan. Of course, it depends on how dry the time and how dry it gets and all that, but that's the sort of plan. But anyways, I'm gonna get started on, I'm only gonna take off the next sheet here. So I'm gonna have these first 2 sheets off, and that's it, because I've only got enough OSB to do really 1 section, maybe 2 here. Actually, if I'm doing the top one, I only have enough to do this section, so I'm gonna rip that off first and see how it goes. But tomorrow I'll go picking up the rest of the OSB to do the rest of this. So, but I will I'll update you soon once I've have this cracked open up there and get a look at it. All right, so I got a little bit of that back wall ripped off, just a small bit, and I wanted to look up here, and I can see where all these rafters and this decking was replaced, because here's the old decking, which is possibly original to the house, and then here it switches to OSB, and the rafters look kind of new here. So I'm guessing that was old termite damage, because I didn't see any termites at all running around when I was breaking all that up. So they either missed it or were just lazy and didn't fix it. You see how that vertical 2x6, how dark it is compared to these rafters? That means that 2x6 is probably original, and these look newer. So they replaced a lot of this. There was extensive damage. That's all OSB on that side too, and then it's the original plywood decking over there. So I think it's pretty safe to say that the termites are gone, long gone. So that's good. I was just trying to figure out how to get that siding off, because the way they did it was weird. Let me take you over there and show you. I can't remember if I mentioned it before, but I did set the nails and caulked the door as well, so it's good and ready for paint now whenever I get around to it. So we're good there. So over here where we're working, I got a couple pieces removed. I got the scaffolding set up in my walking board, and that's the corner I got taken off. So this is what I was looking at. I was expecting the siding to stop here, right here, and then of course the trim covers any gap that you would have between, you know, inside and the siding. I'm not this siding continues up. I don't know how far, but it continues up. And on the inside, so right here, there's a rafter or something here that's new that they added to attach the soffit to, I guess. And then on the inside, when I was looking at this, the back of this, there's a rafter right on the other side of it there. So it's basically wedged in between two pieces of wood, and I have no idea if it was like attached up there with nails before they did all this work, because apparently it's possible that the termite damage got the soffit, or they just had to rip all this out to fix all that in there. At any rate, I don't know if there's like nails up there holding it on. Like if I were to go and start ripping all this down here, and then it's going to be impossible to get out without ripping this whole soffit off. I'm not ripping the soffit off, not doing all that. So I'm kind of at an impasse here. I'm trying to decide if I want to risk doing that. Getting a skill saw in here is not going to be possible, and I don't have a reciprocating saw. Plus I can't use this reciprocating anyways because there's that rafter on the other side here. So if I got the skill saw up here, I mean, it's going to be at most cutting down to here, I mean, because of the guard. So you're not going to be able to cut all the way up to there. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do here. This is pretty annoying. It's like every step of the way with this place is something I've never seen. I don't know. It's just ridiculous. So I had to change gears. This stuff up here is going to take some time to think through. I thought through it for quite some time. I kind of tore the soffit up right there and peeked inside and confirmed my suspicions, what they did, which was this siding goes all the way to the roof decking, which is not right. And then there's a little piece of wood there that they've put in place to nail the soffit to, and they nailed it through the siding into the rafter, so that siding is not coming off without ripping everything out and completely redoing it. And the other issue that I already knew about and saw previously was they did not replace the 2x4 framing that went in here. I'm getting blinded by the sun, so this is getting difficult. So you're supposed to have 2x4s going up and down right here at least every 4 feet, so you've got something to nail to the siding, because you nail every 4 feet, well really every 16 inches on the studs down here, but up there it's supposed to have every 4 feet at least, and usually it's every 2 feet. But there's nothing on this top section at all, no 2x4s. So the only thing they're not connected on the seams, which is an issue. So the seams can bow and twist and crack like they've done over there. You see way up there. And so it's this whole thing that they've redone, I guess because of the termite damage. Someone that had no idea what they were doing, because I've seen so many issues every step of the way, and it's made it to where I'm not sure how I want to go proceed here because of how frustrating. Like I said, literally this whole thing has to be completely redone if it's going to be done right, because there's just no easy way to really fix this and have it not, have it be very watertight. This is because of all the issues we got every step of the way. Like, this seam here, which wasn't even caulked, you see that seam where these all connect. No caulk was even there, so water could be getting in there all the way down. I mean, this is just ridiculous. So at any rate, that's on hold for today at least. I sat for an hour and a half trying to figure out what I was going to do, and I had to move on to something else and wasting time. So I've got a lot of my trim pieces. These are pre-primed LP trim boards. I've already started painting. I need to get back to it before my paint dries, but I had to move on to this, so I'll show you painting. I'm doing it with the brush, like I said before, painting this stuff with with the brush is difficult. It takes for many passes to get through in all the grooves and everything, but it's not worth doing the sprayer on these because using the sprayer wastes a lot of paint, and it's a pain to clean out, and whenever you switch colors and all that. So I'm doing these with the brush, and I can kind of show you painting this one. I've already done these two. They look beautiful. Shark fin gray. So let's go ahead and let's get this one painted. I'll show you just a few minutes of that. Alright, we're going to do the edge now. And I've got to go super fast on the face because it's 100 degrees outside, so paint dries very fast. And it's kind of drying in my pail already. You can kind of see some dry stuff in there. It's annoying. It's just so hot out here. Alright, hopefully we should only need a touch-up coat once these go on the wall. That's the plan anyways. But I'm going to keep going at it, and I'll update you later. So I got most of the trim done, face and edges and ends. 3 small pieces I didn't get to, but it's end of the day, another 12-hour tough day. So at least I got all this done. This wasn't planned for today, but we had to do something else for a little bit. So tomorrow's a new day. I think I've got an idea of what I'm going to do over here, and it's just going to be a lot of extra work, but gotta do what you gotta do. So we'll be going to the Home Depot in the morning as always, so picking up a bunch of stuff there to get started, because I gotta get this done. So whatever it takes, let's do it. See you tomorrow.